Good afternoon, welcome to the vlog. It's 2:07. I've had a pretty productive day so far. I went next door, mowed the grass over there for the first time in like 2 weeks. It wasn't that high, I didn't catch it. It didn't make much of a mess and it wasn't too terrible. Did take some time though. She came out and she always talks to me in the spring, gives me updates over the winter and all that, so that chewed up some time. It's really wet from all the rain and it's supposed to rain even more. Mine needs to be cut, so do the two across the street. Not direly yet, but a couple days they will. So it's always a problem in the spring, working in mowing, especially with 4 yards, trying to get a dry day. But I'll do the best I can. Intro. I was up early at 9:45 this morning, and by 10:15 I had my package from FCP Euro, inclusive of a, I don't know what site it is, Rider Left Lemforder tie rod. It was pictured online without hardware, came with the hardware. You can see the pinch bolt there, and there's a nut floating around right there to the left that will go on the top of the joint. So there's the Rider, the left one, and here's the other one, also inclusive of hardware. But since it wasn't pictured or listed, I bought hardware. The good news is they're only about $1 a piece, so these will just go down in the parts storage inventory. We got the 2 bolts and the 2 nuts, so whatever. I'll just give them to Tom if he finds some application. Great. If not, I will get them back. So I'm going to go drop that off over there with him. I got to clean all this shit up. Lindsay came back. Those are all her books and stuff. MacBook. I was cold earlier in the day, so I mowed in jeans and a sweatshirt. That was not wise. It's warmer now. It's maybe 60, and the sun's actually kind of coming out a little bit. Look at those leaves. I love it.
You put a 6 in. All right, how did 6 look today or yesterday? Visibly, how did 5 look today, yesterday? Horrible. How did 4 look? I didn't even look at that. We need to look at it. You're talking about the OTs? You look at God. You said the number 5 roll package was rough and cracked. So they want to roll in 3 places, 22 pounds of boost, and it's going to find a problem. Right. Well, I'm just saying. We need to look at
for 39 stores.
We have those coil packs inside the shop. Do you have them? Not with me. I was completely it's weird. It doesn't. Dude, I mean, vibration. Dude, it all stems from that fucking one.
Completion of product review.
That's cool. He's watching you through the camera.
Oh.
So I was thinking, I don't know if you put it in. Or not. I don't know. You know what I mean?
You know what? It seems like this is making sense now because last year, I mean, besides the coil pack, last year, ever so often, when it was super hot out, with knocking going away, I give it to, I truck it to the track. Right. So it's not a problem for me. Is that yours, M5?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sorry, that's why I'm going crazy. Thank you.
Love it. In fact, I was on the internet looking.
Well, I'm in a place I have not been in years because they are no longer qualified to work on my M5 or this car. Been a pretty busy afternoon here. I'm actually doing a Craigslist deal right now of that battery charger. Hopefully, if this guy shows up. He's from Medina. He's looking for a battery charger. He tried to negotiate with me a bunch. I've lowered it from 50 to 40 to now 30. I am no longer negotiating, so hopefully he shows up. He said he's in a red Jetta, so I'm keeping my eye out for that. I stopped in Alaric Motorsport, great progress. Old engines off the subframe, old engines bolted down on the skid, ready to be shipped, picked up, otherwise moved on in its life. Then the transmission's off the old engine, obviously. The clutch and the flywheel and the pressure plate are out. He said that whoever put that together should be very ashamed of their work. they cleaned up the flywheel with a very abrasive tool, and they actually put gouges in the flywheel that you can feel. We're guessing the flywheel's original. The first clutch was done at like 1,000 miles or something. There's another clutch at 108,000, so this will be the third clutch that's gone in the car. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. This will be the fourth clutch that's gone in the car, including what it came with new. So we're guessing the flywheel's original, but whoever put that last clutch in was way too abrasive on the flywheel and gouged it up, which you do not want. You want a good mating surface for the clutch to mate to. The clutch itself still had some material on it. It was definitely worn, but there was still some material and some life left in it. So that's kind of what I got out of that. So right now he's putting the starter motor on the new engine. That came in. He had to take the heat shielding. There's bolts that cover the, because it's right next to the exhaust manifold, the starter motor is. So we had to take the heat shielding off the old, put it on the new, but the bolts were all seized, so we had to cut the bolts off without damaging the studs and then get new bolts, and pain in the dick, of course, because it's been on there for so long. Here's my red Jetta. I gotta sell some stuff. All right, that was Roberto from Ensenada, Mexico, and he was a nice guy. We were talking about San Diego, and he's getting out of the Ohio cloud soon, headed somewhere down close to the border, California, Arizona, one of those. So I got my money for that. Battery charger's gone. I'll take that out off Craigslist. It'll be good to get it out of the kitchen counter. So just talking about the starter motor, the new mounts need to go in the subframe still. One power steering hose needs to be replaced still. Still needs to put the clutch, pressure plate, flywheel, throttle bearing together in the transmission before it obviously before it mates to the new engine. New engine's all torqued and ready to go. It's hanging on a 2.5 ton hoist kind of thing right now. It's not bolted, it's hanging by a chain, and it's kind of freaky because there's like one chain and one hook holding that engine 4 feet off the ground. That's it. But I guess it is only 400 or 500 pounds, and that stuff's probably rated at a lot more than that. So it's exciting. I mean, it's looking like tomorrow morning he'll get in there and get it on the subframe. Then it's just a matter of putting it on the platform, lining it up under the car, and raising it in there. Now, he did say that it is much more time consuming to install an engine than remove an engine, as I would have definitely guessed. You've got to be a lot more exact with your work. Putting things together now have to seal and be torqued down correctly. So, you know, it may not be done tomorrow, maybe Thursday the engine's in there. And then even after that, there's a lot of work. The drive shaft's got to go back in. All the splash shields need to go back in. A lot of that's going to have to get put back together before it's really ready to be put down on the ground and driven. And then the first order of business is going to be in alignment. Both the rear and the front subframe have spent a week on the ground at one point over these last 2 months. So it's going to need a good alignment, and then it's drivable and ready to be broken in, and then ready to come back to me, get cleaned up, first order of business, and then have as many miles as I can manage put on in the month of May. In the meantime, I need to go to class tonight. I really don't want to, but I'm going to have to. It's 4:30. I'm going to go home, get something to eat, and then head into class, figure out what the final's going to be, get caught up. I've only skipped 1 week, but that means I haven't now been there in 2 weeks since it's a once-a-week class. So I'm kind of out of the loop. So we're getting involved in that again. I'll come home tonight, probably crash about 9:30. And I see an M. It's a Silverstone E93 M3. Guy never waves, always looks pissed. Actually, that's a different car, but that guy too. M3 drivers are dicks sometimes. Alright, I went to class. It was really boring. I missed last week with the doctor's note, and there was some assignment survey questions that everybody else turned in. This is not a tree, this is a stick that landed vertically. At my grandparents' house, things are a total mess. There's sticks and just shit everywhere. I stopped by to start the Genesis, drive the Genesis. It's been weeks. And we ran into a minor issue when attempting this today, and here's what that issue is. Okay, does not kill the starter motor. So Battery's dead as hell. And how ironic is it that this car battery dies the same day that I sell the battery charger? It's kind of funny. So, I recently moved the jumper cables out of the M5 and into the 330 since that's what I've been driving. And now we're going to get to put them to test. I've never even jumped an M54s. Yeah, there's a positive terminal, and it's going to go all the way over there to that one. Okay, we have a link. I don't really like these things up here. They're just very smooth metal kind of extrusions that come out of this. I suppose I could go directly to the battery in the back. In retrospect, that may have been easier to just remove the trunk carpeting and put it on the terminal of the battery. It's probably slower going through all that additional wire, although we do have brighter lights on the car. It's been on there like 1 minute, so I doubt. Oh, I could hear the starter motor at least turn over that time, and the sounds are normal. Give it another few minutes here. So I pressed the button to try to make the seat go back, and it actually started up. So very slowly, but it did start. Let's disconnect now. Oh, it knows the key left the car. Forgot how much this thing actually ticks. It's like S62 tick from the back of the engine. Is there valve timing on the back of this engine? I have no idea. I'm also noticing those LEDs are pulsating kind of crazily. This car hasn't driven since probably February or March, so I'm thinking I'm going to leave the 3 here for at least a day. I'll take this and let it do a little bit of exercise, get out and drive some, and may try to list it online for sale because nobody else is driving it.
You never cease that stuffing and shoving till the break of dawn.
We canceled Sirius XM on this, but it's still on 40s on 4. That's actually called 40s Junction now. It's channel 73. I'm not changing it though. We got a freaking wall cloud kind of thing going on here. It's still warm. It's 55. And as far as I can tell, there are no choice automobiles out tonight. Well, holy hell, the U.S.S. Genesis has docked. This thing is massive. It's got to be at least 18 inches longer than the 3 and 12 inches wider. It kind of looks ridiculous in here. I mean, it barely fit in his garage. It's better in here. This one's deeper. But that's normally where I park the 3 or the 5. And it's a little wider than the 5, I think. It's a big ass car, and it's pulled all the way up till the PDC turned red about 12 inches away. And I'm gonna pull this damn plate frame. I don't like that. Okay, it's bedtime. I'm dead. It is, oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 a.m. 12:34. Super productive day today between getting the yard done, checking the car, going to class, doing a ton of work around the house. Tomorrow's the exciting day. Should be able to get the engine and the subframe with the new mounts and the hose, and then start the process of getting that in the car. Even if it's lined up and bolted in tomorrow, I guess bolting the engine actually in the car will be the last thing because there's so much stuff to connect to it. But tomorrow hopefully starts that process. I'll be in there in the afternoon. If it's dry, not raining, I'll try to get another yard done tomorrow. But for now, I need to go lay down and get some sleep. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on Wednesday, hump day. Good night.